Okay, we're going to record. Hey, Derek. All right. I don't know what the deal is, why it's not recording, but oh, there we go. Okay, great. Great. All right, pause what you're doing. Take a look up at the screen. There's a few things that I just want to make sure are really clear before you go forth and work today. So please pause what you're doing. Turn around, take a look. Hi, good morning. So today is the day that your modular sculpture is due, your raku sculpture. And I had said that maybe I would introduce a new project today. I am not going to do that. You need the whole class period to work. So you're just going to get to work the whole time. And you just have to submit your 360-degree video and your artist statement by 3 p.m. today. So this is what I'm looking for as I'm looking at your video that you're going to record today. These are the things I'm going to be looking for and grading you on. First, is there a clear, repeated motif used throughout the composition? Does every view have an interesting height, width, and depth that would be space? 50-50, I mean. But, you know, in the case of my sculpture, I know that there's way more positive space, but this is pretty dense. There's not a lot of airy spaces to look through in mine, which is actually something that I kind of regret, but it is what it is. I would say in my sculpture, it's probably 60% positive space, like 60% foils making up that sculpture, and 40% space, or negative space. So somewhere close to 50-50 would be awesome, but if it's a little bit off, I understand. This is kind of our first time thinking in this way. Does it have strong and stable footprint? That's your base that you made that first day. Is the composition visually balanced with symmetrical balance or asymmetrical balance? I don't really care which one it is, whether it's symmetrical or asymmetrical, but I want you to be able to identify it. Is it visually balanced? Is it symmetrically balanced and asymmetrically balanced? If it seems like your sculpture has a whole bunch of movement and action over here and there's nothing to counterbalance it over here, then that's the problem. Then you need to figure out how can you make it more visually balanced. Next, is there consistent thickness shown in the coils? Walking around the room, I feel like everybody has done a really great job of that because a lot of you have used the extruder, which gives you consistent coils. But even the people that are rolling their coils by hand have done a really stellar job of making them very consistent. So you're doing great on that. All surfaces are smoothed as much as possible. This is something that probably maybe not a lot of you have done today, but once your composition is complete, I want you to take a paintbrush, preferably one that has kind of stiff bristles. Make sure it's clean, first of all. And get a cup of water and just spend a lot of time using that stiff bristled paintbrush to smooth everything that you can possibly access. So inside all those nooks and crannies the best you can. And then finally, part of what I'm grading on is a 360-degree video that shows all the sides, listen, all the sides except the bottom. I really don't want you to pick this sculpture up and show me the bottom because it's going to fall apart right in front of our very eyes. So with this sculpture, this is the only piece that you don't need to show me at the bottom. You're going to turn it, you're going to show me all the sides, you're going to pick up your camera, and you're going to show me the top by picking up your camera. You'll see it in the example in a sec. But I don't want you to pick up the sculpture. I want you to turn it carefully, but do not pick up the sculpture off its tray. It always has to stay on its tray. So here's what your video should look like. Take a look up at the screen. So somebody brilliant for his last project put the project on the pottery wheel and spun the pottery wheel really slowly and had the camera sitting on the pottery wheel too. So the wheel did the spinning for you, like really, really slowly. So that's what I did here. And I would encourage you, for the people who are here in person, sorry, people at home, I would encourage you to do that very thing. Put your project on one of the pottery wheels, spin it incredibly slowly, no crazy like wheels spinning super fast because centrifugal motion will throw your project off the wheel. And just spin your piece as slowly as the wheel can go so I can see all the sides, maybe let it spin a couple of times so I can see all the sides again and again and again. And then once I have definitely seen all the sides, then stop the wheel. I forgot to stop it. There we go. Stop the wheel, pick up your camera and show me the view from the top. Again, do not pick up the sculpture. It always stays on its tray. Even when you move it over to the wheel, keep it on the tray, please. People who are here in person also remember you could use these banding wheels. Do you remember these little spinning platforms? They're in that cabinet. I left the door open back there, so you can use one of these. Remember to pick it up by the bottom. If you pick it up by the top, the bottom will fall off and make a really embarrassing sound. So people who are at home, you just keep your project on the tray and spin it on your tabletop, and then hold up your camera to show me the top. Again, do not pick up the sculpture. So your video, again, should be about 30 seconds long. That's what I'm looking at to be able to adequately see all the sides. Then comes the artist statement. In Schoology, I've already pasted, or I've already put this prompt in Schoology. You're going to copy and paste this prompt into a Word document or a Google Doc, and you're going to answer these questions in paragraph form. So first, what is the title of this sculpture, and why is that an appropriate title? What motif did you choose to repeat in this sculpture, and why did you choose this motif? Briefly describe the steps you followed to make this sculpture, and definitely be brief. You don't have to tell me about every single little step that you did. It's as though you were explaining it to someone who doesn't know what you did. That's kind of the way I want you to explain it. Did you build according to a plan, or did you build by intuition? Did you have a game plan as you were going along, or did you go with your gut? What kind of balance is shown in the composition, symmetrical or asymmetrical, and how do you know? How does your piece show positive and negative space? Approximately how much of the composition is positive and how much is negative? Remember I said my piece was definitely more positive space. It's kind of dense. There's a lot of foil there. So mine was maybe 60-40 with more positive than negative. How does your piece show use of X, Y, and Z axes? So for that, that's maybe a little bit more abstract to grasp. But I could say my piece shows the X-axis, horizontal axis, because some branches go side to side, left to right. I have the Y-axis because the tree trunks go top to bottom. They represent that vertical movement. And then I have my Z-axis because more of the tree trunks go front to back. So I kind of have, or not tree trunks, sorry, branches go front to back. So however you would interpret that, when you look at your piece, are there pieces that come left to right, front to back, top to bottom? That's how you're meeting your X, Y, and Z axis. This project was very different from other projects we've done in ceramics. How did it feel to work in this different way? That's your opinion there. What was your favorite part of the project? What part was the most challenging? And then finally, will you plan to fire this project and participate in our raku firing next Friday? If you want to fire it and you can't be there next Friday, that's okay. If you can be here next Friday, that's even better. But I would ask, strongly ask, that if you are going to fire this piece, to donate $1 to cover the cost of the clay that you're using, the glaze that you're using, and there's the added cost of the fuel because I have to refill 4 propane tanks to be able to fire these kilns next week. So there's just a lot of cost with this project. So if you're willing to fire it, consider donating $1 if you can. And then if you, once you've recorded your video, you're 100% done with the project, keep it on its tray, right? Don't even ever lift it off its tray and put it on this cart over here. So I'm gonna wheel these into the back room at the end of the hour and they'll start drying out to be bisque fired because they do have to be bisque fired before we rack them. If you don't finish today, that's fine. You can finish tomorrow. It can still get fired, all of that. But I am also going to introduce the new project tomorrow. And there are examples of the new project on your table if you want to explore and kind of get an idea of what we might be doing. So that, I think that's my last slide. Those are your tasks for today. Finish your sculpture, smooth your sculpture, record the video, do the artist statement. Any questions on that? Excellent. I will be checking in with each one of you today. Go for it. Go get to work. People who are at home, hang tight just a sec. Stop sharing. Good morning, everybody. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to keep recording for a little bit. One little comment I have, and then I'll open it up if you guys have any questions for me. Yesterday, we did the peer critique, and
I could be wrong, but I don't think any of you uploaded an image to the peer critique, which was a discussion. The assignment was a discussion yesterday. I don't think any of you uploaded your photo. Again, the last time I checked was like 2 o'clock yesterday, so maybe you did since then. But the bigger and more important thing is that you type in comments on the other people's photos so that they get some feedback, you get the experience, because every artist has to do this in college and beyond, of talking about someone else's work and talking about it in a way that is helpful, positive. Remember, the first thing you were going to type for each photo was an affirmation, like something you like about the work. And the second thing you were going to type is a question that you had or a suggestion, not anything that's supposed to be negative, just something that it gives the artist a little food for thought about how other people view their work. So it's a really important part of being an artist. Make sure that you do that today if you didn't do it yesterday. And I think only of the kids who are here, I think only like 12 of them uploaded photos. So you're only going to have to comment on 12 of them. The people who are here had to comment on everybody's work, which is about 25. So you'll have less work to do. But just leave a positive and a question for every photo, please. That's your 20-point assignment from yesterday. Okay, so I'm gonna stop recording and then I'm gonna see if you guys have any questions.